Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a P0intL3ader75 live stream. We're gonna try to see if everything goes smooth, and that's the beauty with live streaming. You never know what brings up, what surprises might show up. But we're gonna be taking a look at this plane, and this is the infamous sort of like super sport, light sport plane. It's mainly constructed out of carbon fiber, and it weighs about 1,015 pounds. That's about 460 kilos, and it's a two-seater, and it's a Rotec engine in the back, about 100 horsepower, and it has a top speed about about 193 kilometers an hour or 120 miles an hour. Cruise speed about 170 kilometers or 105 miles per hour. Range would be 740 kilometers or 460 miles. Optimal cruising speed, of course. And climb rate would be 305 meters per minute or 1,000 feet per minute. It's a land and amphibious vehicle and has STOL, stands for short takeoff and landing, and it's a high wing configuration for better visibility and more protection for the wing, especially suited for bush landing. And it has low stall speed, meaning that it can fly at very low speeds, and it also comes with a safety feature like a ballistic recovery system. So it actually has a parachute in the top should things go really wrong. Glass cockpit and with an integrated GPS, not a autopilot, and it's equipped for VFR and basic IFR. So that's there you have it. This is the one we're going to be using for today and see whether it actually holds up for bush flying. And we're going to be anywhere we feel like our hearts desire. Might as well try somewhere in Africa. Why not? So we're going to be in the smack middle of it and see what we can bring. I have no idea, never been here. Might be very beautiful, might be very dull. However, that's usually not the case. This is going to be interesting because I did turn off every sort of hint in terms of markers or, like landmarks, airports, aircraft labels, although we are going to be seeing aircraft now and then, but it's just not going to be shown as a label aircraft, but they are going to be around. We should be, we're going to take us into a live environment, so it's going to be, everything is going to be off, no AI, just players around us. I don't know, we could have live traffic, why not? Live weather, meaning it's going to be live local time. And let's just head on out and see how things goes. Also to mention, I am playing this in 3840 by 1080p. And so you guys only get to see it in 16 by 9, so that way parts of my stream is actually cropping the center of my super ultra wide monitor to make the stream a little bit more convenient for you guys to watch for the majority part. So it's not going to be too much of a black border anywhere. And we're also going to be using Tobii Eye Tracker. I'm going to see if I can adjust the microphone a little bit, not to be too much in the way. So Tobii Eye Tracker allows us to actually look around. So we're going to reset that one. There we go. I have no idea about this location, but this is the look of the plane. Looks like we are good to go. Alright. Resetting the altimeter or the barometric pressure. That this plane does not have a radio or radar altimeter. parking brake off, holding the brakes, and let's just take off. You can see there in on the speedometer, there's a green area. That's the ideal area you want to be at as you take off. And this is a bush, so I'm gonna actually go full flaps when I take off and clear the trees. That's the map. Gear up and flaps up. First step and second, and we are good. Trimming the aircraft, and as you can see on the map when we picked our location, it is a rivers in Africa. I mean, you would argue that people mostly fly in densely populated areas like New York or what have you. Given that this plane is an amphibious plane, we do have a little bit more option as to where we can land, and that's it's not too tricky to land this thing. You just got to make sure that your AOA is in the green area, sort of just bordering to the yellow, where you would stall, and that's basically going to have your plane sitting down or settling down nice and smooth. What I didn't map, however, come to think of it, is the rudder switch, but I should be fine. I mean, we're gonna try not to do something stupid here, but let's just fly a little bit up rivers. Seems to be quite a nice weather here. It's about, I mean, it's around the equator, so what would you expect? There we go, that's a good one. Why not? All the instruments are working. It's a very simplistic airplane. And nice rudder there. And kind of reminds a little bit of a car, you know, for sure. There we go. Gotta have proper lighting. Not that I think we're going to come across any players, but might as well make sure that we have the right configuration for cruise. I'm going to trim the plane a little bit. We don't want to go over the top there. Definitely don't want to hit into the 100 or the yellow area on the speedometer or airspeed. That's the thing with airplanes compared to vehicles down on the ground, is that your speed is actually the speed you travel through the air. And as we all know, there are winds, so airspeed is always constant, but ground speed is the variation aspect to it. A lot of trees here, so that's really not too much of populated areas here, as far as I can reach, but maybe a little bit on the right side. We're gonna have a look there. It's fairly flat land, I'd say. Very minimum of hills for sure. A little bit turbulent. We are bordering almost on the ideal speed here. Anyways, ideally we want to be at 90 for these planes. We're going to try to find a nice, I'm going to throttle down a little bit. Currently using my Rhino X56 HOTAS. And as you can see, you do have a stick in the middle of your, in between your legs, so that's very sporty-ish, much like a jet fighter almost. So the configuration is correct. I do have the stick in between my legs in real life as well. Throttle is on the other side for me, but it is a left-handed throttle anyways. And look at that. I am having issues with connection to Microsoft. I better not interfere with the stream. I don't think it would, but I've had quite a bit of an issue as of today, so. Alright, I'm gonna see. Yeah, we're live streaming, and we are back on Microsoft services. It's been doing that quite often lately. I have no idea why it does it, but it seems like the stream is fine now. Alright, so we do have something coming up here on the left side, I can tell. Whether that's the beach or just a... We'll find out. We'll find out. I should have... Let's have a look. Okay, I gotta trim the plane here. Trimmed flight, that's essential. And we are going a little bit too fast, so. There's no order of anything here. It's all about manual flying. See, control 2, that would give us the info here, 3D vision. I want to have the map actually, because I want to see what we have around us in terms of airports and what have you, so that would be ideal. Alright, so that's better. Yeah, there's a little structure down there. Let's have a look. Definitely digging this overhead overwing construction. It's such a nice plane to fly around with for shorter... Well, actually, you can fly fairly long distances if you want. Although it's going to be hands-on flying, for sure. Or hands-on stick flying. But, I mean, as long as you trim out the plane, it's going to be fine, right? And like I said, it's almost reminds a little bit of a flying car in that way. And it actually does fit on the back of the trailer. Well, on the trailer, on the back of the car, so you can... I'd say in a normal size garage, you could probably fit it inside of a garage, a normal car garage, at home. Just bring it out in your trailer. Take it with you for daily adventures. Like I said, here in Sweden, it's we do have a ton of water and lakes and all that stuff. Tens of thousands of lakes, hundreds of thousands of lakes actually. So ideally, as long as you have permission, which I have no idea how that works, but I wouldn't think that, I mean, being a super ultralight vehicle, as long as you don't fly too high up, you should be fine, right? I mean, maybe someone can tell me about that in well, down in the comments. How that works in real life, where you can actually fly these in Sweden or in general. Oh, we do have something here on this island. I think there was a house actually. That's a pretty nice way to. But it's not like you're gonna. Well, I mean, you could swim across the river, but I wouldn't know what type of animal life would be in the river. Whether that would be crocodiles or something, but it is Africa after all, so. But nah, that was just a sandbank. I'm gonna have a look and see, because anywhere where there is a small airfield, usually that tends to be a smaller village or community or some sort of infrastructure, and we do have something down there. Is that the one? I'm gonna have a look. Oh yeah, look. I wonder if that is... Is that a seaway? Yeah, we haven't... that's just a river. Yeah, it would be on the mainland here. And we do have some sort of a village. Alright, let's just leave the river and fly towards whatever seems to be agriculture and some sort of a community, and see what we can find. in the middle, smack middle of Africa. So today we do have, in Sweden where I live, we do have about the same weather. I mean, in terms of clouds, a little bit of sunshine, a little bit of clouds. Fairly cold, I'd say about minus 10 degrees Celsius outside, give or take. And we do have snow, for sure. Not a crazy amount of snow, but we do have snow. And so, and the sun should be started to go down here in Sweden, well, where I live anyways. We usually have the sun above the horizon from maybe 11 to 2 o'clock to, well, no, 3 o'clock, around the time of the year. It's going to be far less in about a month. Maybe 2 hours of actual sun above the horizon. Have a look. What do we have here? That is a village. And that's the airfield right over there that I'm looking at. Has to be. Let's have a look at it. See if we can land on it. I mean, it is a bush plane. Well, it's not a bush plane, but that's why we're here to find out. Alright, so let's see. I mean, I can imagine that in places like these, you definitely can expect animals. You know, like just laying on the runway, taking a nap, or just sunbathing, or what have you. You definitely want to fly, make a fly pass to scare away possible obstructions before you attempt to land. And this is definitely not where we took off, but it's sort of similar to where we took off, so let's have a look. Ideally, worst case scenario, we could land on the water, but obviously in real life you wouldn't know, because you want to make sure that it's deep enough. Obviously, I don't think it's going to be too well, it's not going to be too demanding on how deep it goes, but it's definitely something worth thinking of. Alright, so this would be a crop, right? I think if you land here, yeah, that's going to be pretty tight. Well, actually not really. Alright, let's give it a go. We're going to see. Yeah, I think we're going to try to land this direction. We should be fine, really, in terms of flaps, but I'm gonna use them anyways, because I like to have the extra room to go real slow if I have to. We just gotta keep an eye on the AOA, which is the top middle gauge on the dashboard there, with red, yellow, and green. Ideally want to be within the green, bordering to the yellow, actually being within the yellow before you actually stop. But that's the idea. Landing gear out. Flaps 1. Have a look. Alright, so that's where we want to land. We are a little bit high, so I'm going to throttle down all the way, because I'm going to bleed off the speed as much as I can. So we're going to use the latter half of this one. I don't think the first part is actually the landing strip. I think it's going to be the last brownish area there. So, alright, let's just go down fast and flare out. So we want to bleed out right from here. Yeah, we're coming in way too fast. Way too fast. This one does not have a spoiler. Well, let's just pretend we only have this stretch. And we are good. And we're definitely using the last part of it. The stretch, that was butter smooth, guys. Couldn't have done it much better, I don't think. Flaps up, we don't want to... That's the thing with bush planes, especially if you're... I mean, we do have overhead wings, but still though, you want to protect those flaps so you only deploy them really when you really need them. Because you don't want to have anything hitting them, like bushes or branches or what have you. Alright, let's just pretend we're dropping off someone here and dropping off a little bit of cargo, and let's make a turn around. We definitely have plenty of space to take off, so that's not going to be an issue. Definitely has a lot of resistance in the grass. Almost had to go full throttle there. Let's have a look at the beautiful plane. Slowly animating in the characters, but that's what it would look like. And on the top there you have somewhere there you have a deployable parachute, so that's for that extra safety measurement should the passenger be left without a pilot. Obviously you will have some sort of controls there, although the instruments would be on the pilot side for sure. But you'd be fine. If both are pilots, you should be fine. Alright, so might as well do it the proper way. Full flaps, making sure trim is set for takeoff. I think that's the way. Should be the way. Alright, well, and let's take off. Actually, let's have a look and see where we're at in terms of fuel. I'm gonna put us somewhere there. 100%, why not? That means that we won't be able to have the maximum fuel, but you know, just to give us some weight. Alright, there we go. Holding the brakes, full throttle, and release. Let's see. Try to keep it nice and straight, using the rudder. When we're in the green area, we can take off. Gear up. And clear the trees. You can actually go up pretty high, as long as you don't fall out of the green area. And flaps up. We are good. Let's have a look at a little bit more look at the community here. And checking our barometric pressure. And there's a nice glitch. Definitely edited somehow. I mean, it all comes off of satellite images from Microsoft Bing. The equivalent to Google Earth, basically. Now, there are mods, I think, that allows you to use Google Map on top of this, just for certain features that Google might have that Microsoft Bing Map may not. Haven't looked into it really. I mean, I'm happy with what I have, and I'm pretty sure Microsoft is doing whatever they can to bring us a nice experience from what they have to offer. I have no doubt, and I am pleased with the result for sure. Alright, so these are somewhat open areas. I don't think we're gonna have any bigger cities here. I mean, not from the look of it, but we definitely have a little bit more open areas. Let's see if we can find a typical bush area where we could actually maybe land. Either that, or we just actually, yeah, I have an idea. Let's just fly back and this little this little area and pick a new area. But this little area we're gonna end by landing on the river. Why not? Just to show you guys how that works. Because landing on water is definitely a bit more... I mean, you have to be very careful. When it comes to landing on water, you have the whole hull of the bottom of this aircraft pretty much in contact with water. That means that's a lot of friction area. And you're doing it the wrong way, and if the waves are too high, you're definitely going to damage the aircraft. Carbon fiber I wouldn't take it that far, you know, like it's just not going to crack necessarily like plastic would, but it can crackle, and it's going to be losing its integrity if it does. Not going to necessarily snap. That's the benefits of carbon fiber. It still holds together. It's going to lose that integrity or the strength of it. So you definitely want to be careful, and it's a hard. It's very hard, and well, it may not be hard, but it's extremely expensive to replace. You know, like if you break things. So we're going to take it almost as realistic as we can. Why not? Yeah, I mean, this may not be every day though, in terms of daily adventures, but whatever, I'm gonna try though. It all depends on things happening in real life, but for the most part, yeah, why not? I kind of like doing this, and I like doing my flight hours in Microsoft Flight Simulator, so this is a good way to do it, and connect to you guys. Let you guys know what's going on, and now and then we're gonna break off a little bit with other titles of course. I mean, but for the main part, I am a simulator guy. You know, I like driving sims or racing sims, and I like flight sims and space sims for that matter as well. But for that, you know, I do have a second channel called Swedish Raven 75 that covers Star Citizen exclusively, so that's why I don't play that game too much on this channel. I should have all the links though, if you want to follow me on that one too, as I am going to stream later today during a live expo, sort of like I'm going to show you guys a little bit of what's new in the news and happening in Star Citizen. Okay, we were flying actually real fast, well within the yellow area, almost 200 kilometers an hour. Alright, so to land on water, I would actually not go full flaps. I would probably just do this, just double checking that we don't have the landing gears down. We don't, we are fine. Yeah, I should have looked there. We can actually tell. Find a nice area, throttle down. If you have a good stretch, you can definitely throttle down all the way. Make sure the waves aren't too high, and see if you can also line up against the wind. That would help. And keep an eye on the AOA, which is the top one there. You want to stay within the green area, and then you want to hold the nose up and try to hit the yellow area when you're about to touch down. So that's basically how that works on this plane. And now we're in the yellow area, and that's how you land the amphibious plane. Obviously you're not going to have any brakes, so that's why it's kind of good. See which one is the rudder. Is this the one? No, that's the... Definitely don't want to hit that one. Hang on, I'm going to have a look. Do I have time? There we go, that's the rudder. So now we actually have a little bit more control in the water. Flaps up, definitely don't want to risk having the flaps hitting the water. But that's, ladies and gentlemen, is how you would land this plane. Such a lovely aircraft. I would surely want to have one like this. It is pretty expensive though. I think it's cost about $1 million, give or take. Probably more. Plus all the costs around maintaining the aircraft. And let's just turn things off, so that way we get a proper way to exit to the menu. It's going to give us a nice little flight right there. We are going back to the main menu, see if we can pick another location to explore. And if you guys have any suggestions, just give me a hint in the live chat. And we'll see what we can do. Alright, so how about we do some, I don't know, I mean, I kind of want to look at see a place somewhere where we haven't really been. So let's see, can we look for Lake Victoria? You guys know where that is? Or what that's actually maybe that's just Victor. Nah, it's not gonna find it. It's not gonna find it. But we can definitely find. Oh, come on, what are you doing? No, that's not what we wanted. Victoria. See if we can find Victoria Falls. Oops. There we go. Would be down here. That could actually be pretty nice to explore. Question is though, how far away? That's not Victoria Falls, that's just the name of the airport. Let's see if we can find the actual falls. I think it's in somewhere up here. Somewhere up here. Let's have a look. I mean, how hard can it be to find it? I should know where it is. Maybe I just need to do that, because otherwise we're not going to see what we need to look for. Maybe it's up here? I don't know. I don't think it's here. Let me have a look. I'm going to Google it up real quick. And there's always that. So it's in Zimbabwe, and at least that is something. But we're gonna have a look and see if we can be allowed to use. Come on now. Can we get to use the map here? Yeah, okay, so there we go. I just completely forgot where it was. It should be Livingstone, right? Yeah, Livingstone Airport. Should be right there. There we have it. And then we follow this river, and there's going to be the Victoria Falls. That's going to be nice, little. Why not? Alright, so let's just take what's been in use for today. Sure that we have enough fuel. We should be good. We're going to do the same here. And max out our payload. Keep us nice and steady for sure. Now let's take on the Victoria Falls. Live, of course, as always. I don't have any recollections that I've actually visited the Victoria Falls in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. I used to do that back in the FSX days a lot. But we'll see. Water is always a tricky part when it comes to simulators. Especially when it comes to waterfalls and the way of flowing and all that stuff, so. And resetting our view. There we go. I think that's a good one. Or we could go a little, I don't know, we're gonna go that. Altimeter. Brakes off. No need for any flaps here. Checking our trim, and let's take off. Keeping it nice and steady, and gear up. Now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Zimbabwe. Looks like we have the river in front of us. Also going to double check that we are on our right path by engaging the map. Yep, alright. So that's good. Let's trim the flight. Head on over to the river. That is going to lead us to the Victoria Falls. I think the Victoria Falls is known for like the height of it. It can actually, according from what I understand, be seen from quite a long distance away, the mist coming out of it. So it's famous for that. It's also infamous in terms of postcards and what have you. So, and it's ideal to visit, especially with this plane. And that would be Livingstone City or town. Yeah, it's more like a city, I'd say, size-wise. Let's trim the plane a little bit more. Try to keep it around 90. That's the ideal. Weather is nice and calm, not too turbulent. And it's definitely not going to be too turbulent here. We don't have too many hills. The only time it might be turbulent would be when you fly over a body of water, but there's only the river and the land, so we should be fine. Well, definitely a bit more populated here as opposed to the first location we were flying over. And we are increasing speed, which is fine as long as we don't do it by throttling it. it will sort of like settle itself anyways, as long as we just trim the plane. Gonna save fuel. We are quite heavy. Pretty much maximum allowed payload. That's not gonna go away. However, the fuel will. Yeah, somewhere there. That's gonna be fine. Looks like some sort of a. Could it be salt factory over there? I don't think they're gonna have any salt in this river, would they? Nah, it's too far away from the ocean to have any salt. Gotta be freshwater, a freshwater river. But who am I to tell? Definitely, I'm definitely encouraging you guys if you want to find out more about Livingstone, which is the city I have to my left or port side, and its surroundings and the Victoria Falls included. Definitely look it up. It's I guarantee you're gonna love it. So nice in place in the world. We are flying, of course, with live weather, live traffic, so we would have actual planes flying in real life in our area. Obviously nothing is going to be labeled, so we are bound to visually see it. And it looks like we're coming up again towards the falls. We're going to keep the falls on our port side, so I'm going to make a slight turn here. See if they actually added the falls into the sim in a proper way or in a dignified way. Like I said, running water and falls aren't really the best part of Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, unless it's been handcrafted later. As you can see, it looks kind of weird down here. It really looks weird. Definitely encourage you guys to have a look at what it looks like in real life. It's not right, kind of, not quite right. But as you can see, it's quite a bit of a drop. I think, yeah, that's where you would have to drop, right there, where you have the white foam. And then obviously water doesn't run up like that. It's actually a continuous drop. And it seems to be pretty dramatic. I mean, obviously you're going to have to try to interpret this on your own, try to imagine what it would actually be represented or what it actually is supposed to represent. Obviously, I think there might be another pass on Africa for sure. Whether they're going to do that for Livingstone area, I have no idea. Maybe if you have a DLC or something, like an add-on or something, maybe that would correct some of these errors. I have no idea though, hang on, why I'm sitting so far back to in the plane. Let's just do this. That way at least I see over the dashboard. So we're not going to try to attempt any landing down there. It's just that it's just not ideal, whether that's in real life or in game, but I'd say let's just try to stick to somewhat of a more flat and straight line. But yeah, I mean that's basically Livingstone and the Victoria Falls. let's just head back to Livingstone Airport and wrap things up for today. Definitely gonna have more adventures in the future, sometimes longer, but usually try to stick it to at least a minimum of 1 hour. Unless there's something else going on, of course. What's gonna happen later down the line is that I am sort of happy with what I have today. It's just that for now it's just live streaming, right? Because if I'm gonna do any sort of editing or anything of that nature, you know, with more heavy load on the GPU in terms of video and such, you know, like editing in general, I am definitely going to require a better graphics card. That's just facing the truth of it. However good this card is for just everyday gaming is perfectly fine. As you can see, it just runs nice and smooth. But it could be better, for sure. It can always be better. But that's something I'm gonna reveal to you guys in the future. In a very not too far distant future, actually. As you guys will be able to tell. Yeah, it should be fine. Don't worry. Also, if you guys notice, we are running this in HDR mode. Whether that's too bright for you guys, I have no idea. It's probably fine if you have an HDR monitor. But I might just turn that off just for convenience for the majority of viewers. Yeah, that airport is visible from a far distance for sure. Alright, let's just cut over Livingstone and make a circle approach. We're doing the proper speed, about 90. Nice leveled flight. See if we can trim it. I think we are trimmed perfectly fine. It's gonna sort itself out. It will go up and down, but it'll find its altitude and its trims it down basically by itself. So I'm full hands off both stick and throttle now. Just relaxing and looking around. Hopefully it's not going to be too much. Don't want to make you guys seasick. But this is the beauty of using Tobii Eye Tracker 5, which actually does work. I have heard numerous of stories about it not working correctly or as it should in the older iterations. Can definitely confirm that it actually is very convenient now. Although I actually turned off eye tracking. I kind of prefer just moving my head around instead of looking around, because my eyes are everywhere, you know, like and not just because of that, you know, but it's mainly because of me playing on a very super ultra wide monitor. So it's basically as wide as two 27-inch monitors attached to each other. So that's basically the size of it. So you can imagine my eyes are definitely wandering far to the left, far to the right. Not so much up and down, obviously. It tends to be perceived as slight smaller monitor in that regards, but that's just because it's the width, you know, the proportions of it that does it. Alright, let's just have a look and see where we're at, what it feels like. I'm gonna have a look and see what the windsock says, if I can see it from here. Okay. Gotta fly a little bit closer. I think that's a windsock, because I want to land with an upwind, sort of. Yeah, we should be fine regardless. I mean, doesn't matter. Let's just make a base turn and land on that end of the runway. We should be fine. Throttle down a little bit. We are going to increase the speed anyways. We're going to go in pretty steep and make it a nice bush landing. So the trick is, obviously, you want to have a close eye on the AOA to make sure that you don't stall. You know, you want to be on the brink of stalling. And that's why you want to have full flaps. Let's just imagine we'd have tall trees around the landing strip. You definitely don't want to come in too shallow. Sometimes you may only have a short runway to deal with, so that way you want to come in slow and from a high angle. So basically what you do is go full flaps in by the end of it, and by the touchdown, basically, pretty much by the stall, you just flap up all the way. So that way you lose that little last bit of lift. And that's just due to the fact that you are going slow. You gotta be on it though, because if you can't come to a full stop, you definitely want to go full flaps and full throttle and go back up again as quickly as possible. Alright, let's just make the turn, throttle off completely and gear down. Gotta look down to my left, that's why. And we should be gear down, right? Nope, it's not gear down. There we go. So this is definitely higher than you would want to be. We're going to try to hit those two white markers on the runway. We're not full flapped yet. Let's just extend the flaps all the way. Throttle down all the way now. We're going to come in from a very steep angle, just using the AOA. Holding the nose up. That's going to slow us down. We'll start falling. Definitely want to be quick on the throttle if we need it. Don't want to fall out of the sky. Want to come in from a very steep angle, but at a manageable speed. We're going to try to hit those two big marks. Actually, we're going to be trying to hit the middle ones. Coming in too high anyways. But this would be the technique. You're obviously going to practice on the plane you're flying. That's what it is. AOA, we are in the yellow. And flaps up. That way, you just settle down the plane from a very high angle. And you're already at a pretty low speed, so you're not going to be having to worry too much about short runways. Now, this one was ideal, obviously being a tarmac or asphalted one. But yeah, there you have it. And we are down on the ground. Might as well use that one, right? There we go. It's a long runway for such a small plane. But I think I saw a taxiway or an exit somewhere down the line here. Do have a couple of planes parked over there. So it should be close by. Yeah, there it is. Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, thank you for dropping by, checking out the video, whether you did it when I was streaming live or later. It's always a pleasure to bring you guys along for a ride. I'll be seeing you guys in a not too distant future. Don't forget to hit subscribe, the notification bell, and the like button or the thumbs up. As we park the plane and turn off all avionics, that's gonna be the end of this stream. You know what? I'm gonna actually park over here by the refueling station. Or maybe, no, maybe this guy is actually ready for me. I'm gonna park right next to this guy. Yeah, he's or she's holding her arms up. Alright, so we are good. Parking brakes on. Engines off. Like I said, don't forget to hit subscribe if you haven't already. And the notification bell so that you don't miss out on future content. Hit the thumbs up, and that helps a lot for the YouTube algorithm. And I will be seeing you guys in the next one. Peace out.